An anime about gods, characters almost dying and having an out-of-body experience, and departed souls turning into weaponry for said gods. Definitely shows friendship in the best form in the medium of anime. Yeah, and I wager you don't believe me that these three elements coupled in one can surprisingly show the best illustration of friendships. But believe it, it absolutely does. Even more so than about slice of life anime that is about displaying bonds and having a blast doing stuff like K-On! And Lucky Star for example. Now for the evidence of this, let's go check out what's going down on Noragami Boulevard to see if my statement holds some water. So for starters, let's have a real quick summary of the characters so we understand what's going down in this phenomenal world. Yato. He is one of the three protagonists in this tale we will be discussing today. Now, he's a god of happiness. Wait, what's that you say? He's actually the god of war like the video game? Well, ain't that some? So yeah, he wants to become the god of happiness because he is tired of his past that is full of agony and sorrow, which also has ravaged some lives and even seized them in some cases. He starts off as a really obscure god with no money, no worshippers, and most importantly, no shrine. So if he dies, he can never reincarnate. Now he is working hard to change that and be a super famous god and get it all with hard work. 5 yen a pop. Hiyori is just your average schoolgirl that, well, now she's dead. Like Yato, damn. It's all good though, because no infliction was done to her and she can live a normal life with no issues whatsoever. Well, never mind. I've been notified that she actually goes in and out of these two shores. One is where gods are present, and you can see them, and the other is just like living a normal everyday life. Hiyori asks for Yato's cooperation on this matter, so she can stop going back and forth between the two. But it really becomes more than she can bargain for, in many more ways than one. Yukine. Honestly, one of my favorite words to say. Yukine, Yukine, Yukine. I don't know what it is, maybe I'm just weird. Anyways, Yukine becomes Yato's regalia, which put simply really means that he died and is now an instrument or weapon for the gods to utilize. Since Yukine died young, he has a very childish personality. Like he was feeding every time he thought about Hiyori. Also, he was stealing stuff because he was angry that this had to occur to him, and he couldn't really live a normal life. Then there are some other gods like Tenjin. He is the god of learning, based off, well, Tenjin, the deity of academics, learning, and scholarships. Pretty much, when the cast needs to learn something, he is primarily used as a plot device to move it along, with him telling the characters something to expand their horizons and fix whatever may be their issue or whatever. Kofuku. I hope I did not mispronounce that. I hate saying her name. It's really weird. I just can't say it right. I know I didn't say it right, but whatever. She is the goddess of fortune. Wait, she's straight up lying to my face? She's actually the goddess of poverty, you say? Well, screw her for lying, and screw her for screwing over half the world's population. Who knew the gods are ashamed of their true identity and try to make covers? First Yato, now her? Like, come on, man. Anyways, she's used to move the events along as well by being more of a beacon of morals and how they should improve or how they should use their feelings in a good manner. Also, she has some funny scenes about causing misfortune and stuff to the characters. She's just crazy. Bishmoten. She's the goddess of wars and warriors. This sounds very similar to Yato, right? You would think they would have an effective teamwork and everything, but nope. They freaking hate each other, which is kind of insane. The reason for this is Yato freaking mopped up all of her regalia. Just went, and this is for a good cause that she really doesn't understand. So every time she sees Yato, she's on a freaking war path to kill this dude. Kazuma, who is the regalia of the just mentioned Bishimoten. He is good friends of Yato's, even though Bishimoten loathes Yato. The reason for this is that Kazuma was the reason Yato did the job, and is thankful he saved his goddess's life. And if it wasn't for Yato, Bishimoten would have been dead, killed, destroyed. So he's eternally grateful to Yato. Nora. She is Yato's first regalia and is pretty much a hoe because she becomes everyone's regalia far and wide. She's used by everyone in every dirty job or task. she's pretty much used because they don't want to use the regular cool regalias. They want to use the ones that already have a bad feeling on them. Anyways, she has this sick need of Yato and wanting to be Yato's #1 regalia, no matter what. But since Yato has changed his ways, he has since thrown Mayu away for a better and brighter future. I've gone over some of the characters in this story that we will discuss today. There are way more and they're cool and funny and whatever, but I'm just going over the integral ones. Anyways, let's go in depth and show what Noragami does with these relationships so we can really find out what I mean by saying it has the best friendships or relationships in anime. For starters, let's begin with Yato and Iori. When Iori first realizes she is going in and out of consciousness at pure chance, she enlists Yato's help to fix the situation, since it was his fault in the first place. Yato would do it for a small debt of about, 5 yen, because hey, a god gotta make a living somehow, you know what I'm saying? Yato doesn't make it that much of importance to him from the start, because he legit doesn't know how to fix it. Then he becomes great friends with Iori, even better friends when to be honest, over a couple of arcs and stories, and does start to like her because Iori was the first one to truly believe in the nice side of Yato, not the evil, murderous version of Yato that he was for hundreds and hundreds of years. Iori even built him his first shrine. While maybe pretty petite, it was a great big deal to Yato, so much that he wept. So with all that Iori has done for Yato, when he learns that the only thing that may save her is to stay away, he really doesn't have that much of a choice and avoids her because it would be what's best for her, even if it hurts, because Iori will forget about Yato if he does this. This relationship has shown the great sacrifices are made at the time to help your friends out, even if it doesn't feel great at the time. Sometimes you just have to do the right thing. Another great relationship is this three-way triangle of Yato and his regalia, Yukine and Nora. This relationship shows a great balance in finally cutting ties and bad friends for a better life and finding good friends you can really lean in for trust. Like I said earlier in the inception, before this whole thing started off, Yato was a god of war and was accustomed to killing foes and anyone he really wanted because he was a young, bloodthirsty savage with no real morals or care in the world. Nora was his sidekick in all these escapades that he would perform in his routine day back then. Now Yato recently decided to change his ways and become a good role model, a true god, because he wants to live a life of peace and happiness and wants to be famous god of good, not evil. Now with his latest regalia, Yukine, he should have no issue forging this new path ahead of himself. But there's one glaring issue that he hasn't resolved at all in any shape or form. It's that dang pesky Nora still wants blood and wants the wicked Yato to use her to slay whoever opposes them. Yato goes back to her time and time again, like some kind of drug. He just can't get over her because he still thinks deep down he needs that bloodlust. Ultimately, Yukine does help Yato get the determination to break the chain with him and Nora. I think another interesting relationship in the series is Bismuth and her overwhelming army of regalia that she puts too much faith in. Bismuth used to have a huge squad of regalia hundreds and hundreds of years ago, but they were slain by the mighty hands of Yato. This is because Bismuth and regalia were blighting her because they were breaking the edicts, and this can kill her if it gets bad enough. So this caused Kuzuma to ask for help from another god to kill all of his god's regalia, even if it was against Bismuth's wishes. Kazuma never really told Bismuth this, so she gets a little cranky when she sees Yato from the early going. Anyway, history repeats itself. Bismuth is getting blighted once again. She's too scared to worry the people because it can make her condition more critical, but she has faith in her people to do what is proper and start following the rules. People have so much assurance and admiration that they are too scared to tell her something is wrong or talk about themselves in a regular manner, and they talk rather uncomfortable around her. So Bismuth's condition gets worse. Their regalia do a secret check on everyone to find out who is doing the oblations on their goddess. When they search, nothing is found at all. Long story short, all this trust makes for a big downfall for people. The only one to truly help the cause was Yato again. But at least this time, he didn't kill all of her regalias, but instead was helping them. I think this is a great example of showing that sometimes when you don't speak up and talk about it with your friends, you can make things rocky at times and get angry with each other. There really shouldn't have been a problem. Eventually though, things do usually work out and you're one again. There are much greater and richer storytelling and interactions in a light novel because there's just more content and complexity. Actually, did I just make a video about this very subject? So yeah, this was just a couple of examples that I think Noragami really shows the complexity of friendships in an extraordinarily great way. It isn't just because we are friends or family or whatever, because we just are, like in most anime. There are levels to this stuff, like sometimes people are bad for you and you will find out who your real friends are when you need them most. For example, in Yato's case with his current and former Regalias. Also, Noragami does all these interactions in a fantastic way, while also exhibiting some great fights, which is like A+ in my book easily. It's always more satisfying when the action has some great story to go with it, or the story has some great action to give it more zing. Anyways, I think I'm out of time today, so check out the manga or the anime when we get the opportunity. And if you liked the video, please leave a like and a comment, or subscribe to watch more of my content. And if you disliked it, please dislike it and tell me why so I can improve. And thank you. Bye bye.